Good evening, baseball fans. It is Sunday, December 29th. I realize that I still have a Santa hat on and a Santa shirt, but it's still Christmas in my heart, my cold, black, dead heart. So I'm still celebrating Christmas. That's what we're doing because it's my show and that's what I say goes. So, anyhow, I'm Suzy. That is Tom. This is Bourbon and Baseball Astros edition. Tom, how are you? How was your Christmas?
I'm good. Christmas was good. The boys are happy. We spent a fortune. I got some cool
How
gifts
did that
too.
how did that budget work out for him?
What what budget? Oh, let me elaborate on how diabolically intelligent my 15-year-old is. So my 15-year-old is aware of certain things, who's really behind the curtain, if you will. And I won't
Right,
go any further
right.
than that for anybody that wants the magic. They can have the magic. 7-year-old, definitely magic still intact, 100%. So the 15-year-old in crafting his Christmas list decided he was just going to shoot for the moon. To which I was like, Felix, what is this? He said, I realized what y'all bought last year. And I went and I did the math on what all of that cost. And then that was basically my budget that I was working with, plus maybe a little bit more, and decided this is what I want based on that budget. And here it is, Dad. And I'm like, okay. I didn't even
You know,
have the art to argue with the man because he did the work to realize what he could afford to ask
he
for in a sense that
he
well, this is
set a
what I
budget.
got. He did. He
There
did.
is a budget, sir.
So he
That's
got
that
everything
that is
on the
impressive.
list.
I like it. So what was like as they get older, the presents get smaller. So anyhow, what was the smallest gift that he received?
The smallest gift,
Hmm.
he's not
Like this, you
and
know how typically the smallest gifts are the most expensive?
oh, his was like
No, okay.
this ridiculous Lego set. He is a collector.
Okay.
My boy
Okay.
does not want clothes. He does not want shoes. He does not want cologne. He does not want watches. He does not want hats. He does not want sports paraphernalia. He collects things. He collects action figures. He collects Legos. He collects all of those things.
Okay.
This one, I can't put it all on him. I've definitely played a part in this. I'm a big comic book nerd, superhero nerd, Marvel, DC, doesn't matter, love them all. So naturally, he is also a fan. So if you're familiar with the series X-Men 97, it picked up where the old X-Men animated series when I was a kid took place. They had this huge break and they started over. Of course, they decided we're going to make some money off this deal. So they came out with a 3,093 piece Lego X-Men mansion. And that was the headliner of the list.
I'm sorry, did you say that you got a almost 3,100 piece Lego set?
That's exactly what I got. A $357 Lego set.
How does Okay, what happens to them afterwards? Do they reside somewhere? In a room, on a shelf? What
Yes, you know how you have like a wall behind you of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
uh-huh.
things? His room is like shelves up against his walls with
Of
different
all the
action
Okay.
figures. Yeah, Lego sets. So his whole room is like that. And
Hey, more power to him because my ADHD would be like 300 pieces and be all, "And we're done. The hyper focus is gone, and we're this is what I got."
that's his little
Anyway.
brother. His little brother wants to be like him though. So he asks for similar Lego sets, gets halfway into them and decides, I don't like to do this right now, Dad. Can I open up the other one? And it's a similar size. And it's no, Gabe, you can't do that. But I want to build the other one. And we have 3 halfway built sets laying in his room now. These are the struggles that we deal with on
Yeah,
this side of
awesome. I love that.
him.
That's very cool, very cool. My children never really got into Legos, thankfully, and so therefore I don't have to inadvertently step
Step on
on
the
tiny Lego pieces. Thank Jesus. Yeah, so we never got into that, so I say there's
you
still
should.
time, but there's at this point, I think we've gone past it though, so anyhow, I went to the ballet today, and that was one of my twins' Christmas presents, was a day date with mom, and we went to the Nutcracker Ballet, and I just full stop, I am not cultured enough for the ballet. Imma put it out there. I will do musical theater all day, every day. Give me an actual show with the singing and the dancing and the acting, like, yes, but just straight up ballet, I can't do it. I can't do it, and I will deny it to the day I die. If any of you come for me and tell my child this, I will find you and I will hurt you. She loves it, so I'm gonna do it, but I am not cultured enough for ballet. I give the ballerinas 1000% props because what they do is athletic. It is a sport, like that, it is impressive. I just am not cultured enough for it, and that makes me sad in my heart. just a little, because
So
I wasn't
will
bored,
your
but
twin
it wasn't great.
will your twin study ballet?
No, she loves it. She loves it, but she does not, A, want people to look at her. She doesn't like being the center of attention. She doesn't like being up on stage, and so she won't do any of that. No. She will twirl all day, every day, but don't tell her about her form. She don't give a fuck if her toes are pointed, nothing. I'm very sorry about that. I didn't give you guys the rated R warning. I apologize. I just let that
My
F-bomb
fault.
fly. I didn't even give you guys any warning. I apologize. Folks, this is a rated R podcast for all of the 4-letter words, like the one that just slipped out, and probably some, I say inadvertent. It's not going to be inadvertent. It is definitely going to be advertent.
She
How
means
can
it.
something be inadvertent but not advertent? Anyways, the Adderall has fully worn off as well. All of the 4-letter words, people, just know. All of the 4-letter words will happen, and some inappropriate adult humor, because that's just who I am as a person. And that's just what the show is. Anyhow, so if I've already scared you away with the inadvertent F-bomb, I apologize. There are other baseball shows that we'll talk about baseball, and you can go there and have less fun, but stay here because we're a lot of fun. Anyhow,
We brought booze.
Tom brought booze. I did not. I have water. I have lemon water. I'm sorry. I'm not sad right now, so therefore I'm not drinking.
I am drinking to new beginnings because we will get into it. There are
We
some
will.
new beginnings, and I think they could be good.
They could be.
Cheers.
I take that back. I probably should be drinking because I titled this episode "Santa, Bring Me an Outfielder." We're not going to talk about that just yet, though. We're not going to breach that just yet. We are going to celebrate Dana Brown signing Christian Walker. And thank Jesus, Nolan Arenado said, I don't want to go to Houston. I'm not sure if that was Jim Crane pushing that. I feel like Jim Crane wants the names, right? I feel like Jim Crane says, oh, I know who that guy is. I definitely know who that guy is. I want him on my team without, I don't know, deep diving into the numbers. And Dana's, sir, but look at what this guy could do. Yeah, but I don't know that guy's name as well as I know this guy's name. I feel like that's what we're doing here, because I don't know
Well,
why we pivoted from Nolan Arenado so quickly into Christian Walker.
I believe they pivoted because Christian Walker's stove was hot. I think there were teams that were in on Christian Walker. I think ideally what Dana Brown and Jim Crane were trying to do as much as they could on the cheap. And Suzy and a lot of people may not like that.
But the Nolan Arenado would not have been cheap.
Nolan would have been cheaper than Christian Walker. So if you read the reports, Nolan was owed $60 million, roughly, from the Cardinals. He was owed 74 total, but 14 of that the Rockies were paying. So $60 million is what the Astros are going to be on the hook for if they got Nolan Arenado for 3 years. Then they said that St. Louis was going to pay $5 million a year for each of the last 3 years of his contract. So you were going to get Nolan Arenado to play third base for the Houston Astros for $15 million a year. So that's why I think Nolan Arenado made sense for the Astros and Dana Brown. A lot of people didn't like the name, thought he'd regress. Okay, we're just going to get guys just because of cachet. I think Nolan Arenado can still be good. Maybe not be Bregman, but be Bregman-esque. Obviously, Minute Maid or Daikin Park, has a favorable left field. You hit to it, see what happens. I believe that Nolan Arenado could put up similar numbers to Bregman. Maybe strike out a little bit more, maybe not walk as much, slug, homers, RBIs, similar. Suzy's making a face. I understand. She doesn't agree.
If you're on audio only, go to the YouTubes, because for that last, I don't know, minute and a half that Tom was telling you all of the reasons he's okay with that, I'm giving him the shifty eyes. I'm giving him the what you talk about, Willis face, because I don't know if you know this, but this is not a math pod, and you start off the whole segment with math, and my brain said no. I tried to pay attention. I did. However, I just don't think, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of going and getting Arenado, even with the Gold Glove defense, even with all of that. And hooray, we signed a first baseman. I'm kind of sad about what that's going to do to John Singleton's playing time, though. And by kind of, I mean, I'm really sad about that, because I really did like John Singleton. And MLB really liked him, too, because number 6 on the bat flips, I was pretty impressed that out of all of the Astros, they chose John Singleton to be number 6 on the bat flip list. Anyhow, yeah. Christian Walker, there will be no platooning with John Singleton. There will just be Christian Walker at first base. So I don't know JohnSingleton pinch hit. I don't
think
even
he'll
know when.
DH when Jordan
When
plays the field.
Okay. All right.
And then he'll probably still play probably every, I don't know, 6th day. I don't think they're just going to run Christian Walker out there for 162 games.
You're right. I don't know. It makes me sad. It does. It makes me sad. But Christian Walker is on this team. I need to know at what point Christian Walker had hair though, because I went on a deep dive into Christian Walker's Instagram, and when he and his wife got married, he had a full head of hair, and I was shocked. And it was like 6 years ago. 7 years ago? Yeah, so he still had hair when he started with the Diamondbacks. So if anybody knows, holler at your girl. All of my flabbers were gasted, just saying. Anyhow, you guys did not hear, Christian Walker did sign with the Houston Astros 3 years, $60 million. And is there an opt-out? No, there's no opt-outs. It's just 3 years. No escalators, just 3 years, $60 million. We have a Gold Glove first base. It's been a hot minute since we've had any sort of good defense at first base, guys. A hot minute.
Just any Gold Glove, like 3 years in a row. Like he won last year. Like this isn't the dude fell off a cliff or anything like that. No, he was that guy last year.
If you guys saw the little blurb I put out on social media about when MLB did the outs above average for first baseman, when I say Christian Walker is defensive wizard, he is an actual defensive wizard. What was it, 54, 57, 53, 50?
50-ish.
Something. 50. It's one of those numbers that I just said, people. Okay? Outs above average. The next highest was Paul Goldschmidt at 12. I'm sorry,
Big
what?
number.
So between Christian Walker just hoovering balls at first, apparently, Jose Altuve, you will always and forever be our short king, but let's call it spade a spade. The defense has not been there, right? Christian Walker covering a little bit more area. Jose Altuve, you just be our short king, sir. And then JeremyPeña hard launched a relationship today on Instagram. Fingers crossed we get some sort of Gold Glove caliber shortstop again, because I don't know, he broke up with his last girlfriend and it just went down the toilet. So maybe now we can get that Gold Glove shortstop back. Fingers crossed. All the fingers crossed, people. All the fingers crossed.
I don't think it'll have anything to do with relationship stuff. I think that's solely for the ladies. I think if we get a better infield defensively all the way around, not just shortstop, not just first base, I think it'll have a lot to do with the Astros hiring Tony Perez-Chica from the Diamondbacks. I know when Christian Walker was interviewed, when he was introduced, they asked about him and he said he did wonders for his career defensively. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with all these guys, and not just our shortstop, but our new third baseman. I think it'll be great for all of those guys to have somebody that around the league, people have talked about he's really good with coaching up defense. So congrats for Dana hiring Tony Perez-Chica.
I like it. I like it a lot. I need you guys to know about JeremyPeña's outs above average, y'all. Each year it has gone down since the good year when he was happy with his girlfriend. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. My internet wants to be super slow, so I'm not going to tell you about the outs above average because it's just over here buffering. It's like I'm on AOL again. I feel like I need the dial-up noise.
When you tried to pull that up, your screen went up.
Yeah, it's not happy, guys. So I'm not going to tell you JeremyPeña is outs above average, but just know it's negative outs above average. And if you don't know, that's not good. That's not so good for a shortstop. That's not great. I'm going to look it up on my phone. I'm going to use my data because I love you guys that much.
I will say this, though, as he's progressed, I really think that he's gotten a little bit more bolder with how he plays defense. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. He's probably made a couple more highlight plays on the infield, but it also leads to errors. It also leads to, things of that nature. So
FYI, there is another JeremyPeña on the Red Sox that the Red Sox just released. That's not the JeremyPeña I was looking for. Fangraphs. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I was like, when did JeremyPeña ever play for the Red Sox? Never, Suzy, never, because it's not the right one. I can't tell you the outs above average because my phone also doesn't want to work. I love this for me. It's so good. Tom has it though because Tom's computer apparently doesn't want to be a piece of shit like my internet does. Love that for me.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Fielding. JeremyPeña.
-2 outs above average. That's not so good, JeremyPeña.
That is not good. But I'm sure he would tell you, oh, here we go. StatCast, outs above average. He would tell you that he doesn't care about your advanced metrics. And we're talking about a 3-year sample size. He was 2 in 2023. He was 7 in 2022. So his defense has regressed. It says his estimated success rate just went down 1%. So I don't know.
Apparently the thing that I looked at a long time ago, mind you, numbers and Asians don't mix, much to everyone's surprise. This Asian and numbers don't mix. The thing that I looked at a long time ago, when he was the Gold Glove, it was something dumb. He was like +7 outs above average or something like that, and then it just slowly regressed until he was like, I don't know, last year was something stupid like -14. I don't think it was that bad, but it was bad.
-2 is not great, but I don't think it's as bad as other infielders. But yeah, I think Tony Perez-Chica can help JeremyPeña out a ton. And I joked with Suzy when she said, maybe this girlfriend will get JeremyPeña back on track. And I said, he probably won't hit for as much power, but he may hit for better average.
Listen, and I told you then, and I'll tell you now, I don't actually even care. I do care. I just don't want him bobbling balls. I don't want him doing that any longer. Okay? Can you make the plays that you're supposed to make, JeremyPeña? Because you're making all the highlight plays, but can you just field like the normal balls? Can you do that, please and thank you? I'd appreciate that. Make the plays that you're supposed to make. That's what I would like. I'm gonna find the outs above average.
I just gave him to you.
Over the years.
I know it wasn't.
No,
I know it wasn't.
Years.
We're talking about 3 years. He was +7 in 2022. He was +2 in 2023, and he was -2 in 2024.
Okay, that was not the thing that I looked at. However, that's not great. Anyhow, the infield is set. The outfield, however.
You want to hear a number you won't like? So you said new Astros first baseman ChristianWalker, outs above average was something crazy, right? Big number?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what JohnSingleton's outs above average was? I use John because I think he played more games. -7 in 2024.
Yeah, not great. Look, he is not fast as fuck, boy. Okay, that's not.
You don't have to be.
That's not his skill set.
Catch the ball at first base. You don't have to go nowhere.
He's got to make some quick dives over there. Okay, that's a lot of. It's like a big ass tree falling down. He's a big man. I'm just saying. I understand. It's a little hard, to play first base. Yuli just made it look effortless. All right, the scoops that Yuli would make. I'm like, why can't anybody else make that? Because Yuli was special. The longer I watch baseball, the more I realize how special Yuli was.
Isak was a -1. So there's your infield. We could do the short king as well.
See what that is.
-9.
Oh my God. What's his over the years?
So 2016, he was -3. 2017, 0. 2018, +6. 2019, +5. 2020, -7 again. 2021, +2. 2022, +1. 2023, -3. And then 2024, -9. I know some of you are like, advanced metrics suck. They tell a story, though.
You don't even need advanced metrics for Jose Altuve. The eye test could tell you. The eye test could tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. You know what makes me very sad, though?
What's that?
Looking at this depth chart. The outfield. The outfield makes me very sad. Oh, so sad.
It's not.
Fangraphs has Taylor Trammell listed as our left fielder. We can't do it. We cannot do it. We cannot go into this season with an outfield of Taylor Trammell, Jake Myers, and Chas McCormick. We can't.
You can and you will. As of right now, Dana has come out and said that they're not done. They are looking for a left-handed bat, and they are looking for a left fielder. If they are one and the same, that would be ideal. But right now, that's what's left on Dana's plate for the offseason.
But he also said he was done spending money.
True, which means that he could acquire him in means of trade. There's been rumors that they're looking to move on from Ryan Pressly. I don't know what Ryan Pressly would want as far as a team, because he has full no trade clause, so he can pick and choose. The idea that he'll just want to go somewhere where he can close again is probably not true. He's from Dallas, so geographically, this is as close to being as home as you can get unless you play for the Rangers, which I don't know why anybody would want to do that. I imagine he'll be an Astro, and if that's the case, then Dana will have a really hard time acquiring that left fielder. They'll probably bring some guys to camp. You could see Ben Gamble. You could see another guy that's a journeyman-esque dude get a shot and see from there.
Do you think any of the young kids come up? Do you think they'll give Jacob Melton some run?
I think that if they come to camp and they just absolutely shine, then Jacob Melton could just force Dana to have to consider it. And we talk about Jacob Melton because he is the highest ranked outfield prospect that the Astros have, and probably the closest thing to a blue chip outfield prospect. There are other guys in the system, but nobody that I think they're racing to get up here. Pedro Leon, he's been like the guy that's been talked about a lot, hits for a ton, but I don't know that they're okay with, I guess, his strikeout numbers maybe. So
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, he'll get an invite to camp.
It wasn't a great showing last season when he did come up, though. And unfortunately, I feel bad for the guys, though, because if you don't immediately come up and make an impact, it ain't going to happen for you. And unfortunately, it's one of those where, hey, you're going to play every third day. What can you do? And it's not an everyday role, and you're not getting the at-bats that you're used to. So I just feel bad. But I don't think Pedro Leon is a good tradable asset.
Mm-mm.
If that makes any sense. I'm not saying he's a horrible tradable asset. I'm just saying he's not the greatest. You're going to have to package him with somebody.
Yeah, they look at him as a 4A player, better than AAA, but not major league ready. Some names I heard floated around on the social media circuit is Zach DeCenzo, but he's never played any outfield. Maybe in the minors, but never up with the big club. So I don't know if all of a sudden you want to stick him out there, but left-handed bat, a guy that was up with the club for a little bit, hit a little bit.
We shall see. Dana, what you got cooking, sir? What you got cooking? Some of the names that have been floated that are cheap obviously, we would love to see Tony Taters in that short left field out there. That would be delightful. That we're not going to see that, though. We're not going to see that because he's going to cost money. Jurickson Profar is another name that's been floated. He is a little bit older. He is a switch hitter. I would be fine with him because I love Jurickson. I don't know if Jurickson would be fine with it on a short-term deal. Because honestly, I think he really wants to go back to the Padres, but I don't think the Padres are doing anything. Alex Verdugo has also been a name floated about. I don't like that. But maybe Doogie on a team that lets him have some facial hair, he gets to be a little bit better. I don't know. Jesse Winker is another name that's been floated. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Jesse Winker because he brings that kind of edge to the team. He brings that fuck you energy to the team. He's that guy.
I think you get the same thing from Verdugo if you brought him in.
Yeah,
just get to the guy we all want. Get to the name you're dying to say.
Oh, no. Apparently, Randall Grichuk is not the guy because he doesn't bat left-handed.
He doesn't have to bat left-handed to play left field for me.
Listen, I have been shouting from the mountaintops, Randall Grichuk, and yet now other aggregators are like, oh, but what about Randall Grichuk? And then everyone's, oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. I'm so glad I thought about it 3 weeks ago.
We did talk about it here.
That's cool. Don't nobody give me any credit. That's fine. Totally fine. I'm not salty about it at all. Anyhow, regardless, I would love Randall Grichuk. He is not a left-handed bat, though. However, he would be a decent outfielder. He makes good contact. A little bit older, probably a little bit on the cheaper side. He was the short side of the platoon for Jock Peterson from the D-backs. Just saying. He did want an everyday role, but he was okay being the short side of the platoon.
He would
But
get
he
an
did say
everyday
that he
role
wanted
here.
more. And listen, I wouldn't even mind going back to Jason Hayward. I would like that too. We cannot run Taylor Trammell out there. We can't.
You also can't play Jason Hayward 130 games or whatever.
Okay, Jason Hayward and Randall Grichuk, done. There's your platoon.
Then we have 6 outfielders.
No, I'm sending Taylor Trammell packing. And I would like to send Jake Myers to the moon. You know that.
Okay.
That's what I would like to do. Move Chaz over to center. But that still leaves some hole. I don't know. We'll fill it with somebody. Just not Taylor Trammell or Jake Myers. Then they run Mauricio Dubon out there. Golly.
They will. I think you have to figure Dubon to play outfield probably anywhere from 45 to 60 games. I just think that's what will happen.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Mauricio Dubon is best when he is used as a depth piece, moved around. But the fact that the outfielder that isn't even the outfielder has the best arm of the outfield is dumb. It makes my head hurt. Anyhow, let's talk about something else that makes my head hurt. AlexBregman. AlexBregman, you are a Boston Red Sox. Can ScottBoras just put us all out of our misery, please and thank you?
I think he might be a Detroit Tiger.
I don't think they want to pay another big contract for an aging
I don't think he's going to get the big
infielder.
contract. I think that ship has sailed.
So he's going to get a smaller contract than what the Astros offered him? Is that what you're saying? Or what are you saying?
I could be wrong. I don't have anything that says anything. It just feels like he played the musical chairs game too long. And now who's competing for Bregman's services right now? No.
Red Sox, Mets, and Tigers.
Yes, only in name alone, because they could use him. All of those guys have third basemen, so they don't have to sign him. It's not like there's this huge hole in the Mets lineup. It would be better with AlexBregman, but they have a third baseman. Rafi Devers in Boston is the third baseman. I don't think Rafi Devers wants to move. There's talk that he could go to second base and maybe he goes there, but they have a second baseman too. If any of these teams sign AlexBregman, I don't think they're signing him to a 6-year deal because they don't have to. They will have all the leverage. ScottBoras has none. And he's going to end up signing a Carlos Correa type 2-year with an opt-out for $64 million.
Okay.
Somebody will pay him $32 million to play 1 year, and then he'll opt out, and then he'll try again next year.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know. I am just saying that I find it very interesting that he and Walker Buehler are business partners on a horse, and Walker Buehler signed a 1-year deal with Boston. All I'm saying is AlexBregman to the Red Sox is just, it's a good fit. It's a good fit. It's a good fit. That's all I'm saying. And also, I have to ask, okay, do you know who Lou Merloni is?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, was a player. He is now one of the Red Sox radio broadcasters or play-by-play, or not play-by-play, but the color guy on TV, possibly. Regardless, Boston through and through. Played for Boston, announces for Boston. His whole thing, when he really likes a player, is he calls them pigs. So Garrett Crochet is like his favorite pig. He calls him like a war pig or war hog or something like that. And that's his thing. It's his whole shtick. All of his favorite players are pigs. Just nasty, dirty, gross pigs. And it's a compliment. If AlexBregman signs with the Red Sox, Lou Merloni cannot call him a pig. I feel like that's somehow anti-Semitic. It doesn't mean to be, but you can't call the Jewish guy a pig. Like, you just can't. You just, like, you can't do it.
I don't think he
It somehow
factors
feels
religion
wrong.
into it.
I don't think it should, but because it's a compliment, but it just feels wrong.
I don't know.
Just saying. I know he doesn't mean it like that, but I feel like it's not great. He needs to find a new name if that's what happens. Just saying.
Bregman of the Red Sox makes a lot of sense. He hits very well there. Him and Mark Wahlberg are incredibly tight. You just talked about them having a horse. I read that the GM does not like the idea of signing Bregman long term. Just doesn't want to do it. And the coach wants him. Obviously, he's got ties. But if the GM doesn't want that, and there's basically like they're at odds on it, GM's normally going to win that.
Come on, Breslow. Do the thing.
Why do you want him there is the question.
Because I don't.
Do you care?
Because,
do you care where he goes?
Yes. Because the other alternative that I didn't say was the Yankees, because there's smoke there too. And I swear to God, if AlexBregman is on the Yankees, I will yeet myself off a building. I don't think AlexBregman would go to the Yankees. I really don't. But there's that 1% chance that they could, because trying to make up for Juan Soto in the aggregate. And who's their third baseman? Because really and truly, Jazz, I love you, but you're a second baseman. You did admirably at third base for never playing third base.
No, supposedly they would move him. They would move him to
They would move Jazz to second, and Breggy would be the third baseman for the New York Yankees. That just sounds gross, man. Ew. So yeah, that's why I want the Boston Red Sox to sign AlexBregman. I wouldn't care if he ended up on the Mets. Fine. Tigers. Fine. It's the Mets. Or it's the Yankees. Sorry. The other New York team.
See, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him play for any New York team. I don't want to see either of them get AlexBregman and just skyrocket past whatever ceiling and just sign all the players. That, to me, AlexBregman on either of them teams, it's Dodgers light. The Dodgers are doing it on the West Coast. I thought the Mets were going to do it, and they signed Juan Soto, and that was pretty much it. They re-signed their guys. They didn't go out and spend, other than Juan Soto, they didn't spend any money. So
they have signed various reclamation project pitchers, but they haven't.
They signed one. I'm sorry. Didn't they sign ex-Yankee?
Manaea?
No, that was their guy.
Clay Holmes?
Yes. They signed
they signed a bunch of, but like I said, they signed a bunch of reclamation project pitchers. They signed Clay Holmes, reliever turned starter, maybe. They signed Frankie Montas.
That was the other one. Yes.
They've got Kodai Senga. Great. Still hasn't pitched an entire season. So it's what, Kodai Senga and then Manaea as your 1-2. Okay. But if you're banking on Frankie Montas, Clay Holmes, and David Peterson as your 3-4-5 amalgamation of whatever, I guess you have a lot of faith in your pitching coaches over there. And a lot of faith that everybody's staying healthy. Yes. So I hope it works. I do. It's the island of misfit toys as their starting rotation. And who's their first baseman?
Nobody right now.
Exactly. They haven't signed Pete Alonso back. So what are we waiting on? Is the Pete Alonso market affecting AlexBregman's market and vice versa?
No.
Or
I think similar teams are in play for them. So that does hinder one team waiting to see what happens with Pete Alonso before they go and turn their attention to AlexBregman. I do wonder if the Mets are not all the way in on AlexBregman because they are trying to spend the money on Pete Alonso, because supposedly they offered him 3 years, $90 million, to which he should have jumped at, but he wants what Bregman got or what Bregman asked for. He's after a 6-year deal.
But he turned down a 6-year deal from them earlier.
Right. He's worth more. Yeah.
But really and truly, if he had not hit that home run against the Brewers in the NLDS? Yeah.
I think so.
Or was that the wild card?
Unless they were the wild card.
Was it the NLDS? Okay.
Yeah.
NLDS. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. But you guys know what I'm talking about. When it literally looked like the Brewers were going to go on to win, and then apparently Airbender, Devin Williams, is tipping pitches or whatever and hung a slider, and Pete Alonso crushed it. But up until that point, he had a lackluster kind of season, and the playoffs weren't great for him. If he did not have that home run, I don't think the Mets would even be looking his way at all. And then he went on to heat up a little bit in the playoffs, but it wasn't a great overall season. And then the playoffs happened. And if that monumental home run hadn't happened, what would be his market right now?
Yeah. But
I mean, I say that,
asked,
but what is his market now?
I don't know. You asked what's hurting them. And I'll tell you what's hurting them. It's what connects them. It's ScottBoras is the agent for both those guys. He's going to hold out until he gets every last cent he can, which is his job. But at some point, you get teams going, all right, we're just not going to go there. And then, you're going to end up like Blake Snell did last year, where he basically signed a week before the season started and he looked like shit. So I really hope that doesn't happen to these two guys. I think they're both good guys. Obviously, I'm not going to root for AlexBregman on whatever team he chooses. I'm not going to root against him, but I'm not going to root for him. I'm very loyal to my Stros. So.
Yeah, but okay, I get it. We say it's agent driven, but is it though? A little bit of that has to fall back on the player themselves. Look, middle of the night, passing bomb, CorbinBurnes to the motherfucking Arizona Diamondbacks. I love that, by the way. And why? He took less money so that he could stay home. They live in Scottsdale. He took less money from a contender. Diamondbacks were surprised of the fucking century, but he went to Boras to go to the Diamondbacks and say, P.S. D-backs, are you interested?
I love you.
Can you meet me just a little? Can we work something out? Because I'd really like to stay home. We just had twins. Bless you, CorbinBurnes, and bless your wife. 6 years, 215. That's anything to sneeze at. Largest contract to date now for the D-backs, because up until this point it was the Zach Greinke contract. But now everyone is basically bumped down. Jordan Montgomery, you are gone. You are somewhere else. I'm surprised that Jordan Montgomery is still on the Diamondbacks. Just going to be honest. But now that rotation is CorbinBurnes. Why did my mind automatically go to Brandon Pfaadt as the two? That's not it at all. I'm very sorry. Zach Gallen. Wow. So CorbinBurnes, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, and then you get to a mixture of Brandon Pfaadt and Jordan Montgomery. So if everybody can stay healthy, but Zach Gallen is on the last year of his contract, and so now it's rumored, okay, is Zach Gallen going to be traded then? Which, that would be interesting. But no, Jordan Montgomery is gone. Anyhow, back to my original point. CorbinBurnes, ScottBoras' client, took less money so that he could stay home. We say, yes, it's ScottBoras, but when it comes down to it, it's player driven.
I think it depends on the player. Like, I genuinely feel like there are some players, aka Jose Altuve, that tell their agent what they want.
Yeah.
And it's the agent's job to go get it. And then I think there are players, AlexBregman, Pete Alonso, that go, I'm not getting involved. I'm letting my agent handle it. I just play baseball. This is what we hired the guy to do. This is his job. I let them and the club negotiate it all out. You heard Bregman say this all last year, that he was not going to get into negotiations like that. He was really going to let his agent handle it, let them talk, and then he was going to come back with the best possible deal. I truly believe AlexBregman, through his IG, is having a phenomenal time with his family, selling salsa and enjoying the holidays and letting ScottBoras figure it out. And when his phone rings and it's Scott and says, hey, this is what I got you, he'll say yay or nay. I believe that when the Astros came with a number and Scott called him and said, hey, the Astros came with this, but I think I can beat it. He said, all right, go beat it. That's what I think. We'll never know how that conversation went, but I believe that the Astros will end up making him the largest offer that he will get this offseason. Hot take, semi-hot take, whatever you want to call it. I believe that the largest offer that he will have gotten was from the Houston Astros, and he will take a smaller deal in years, not in AAV, but in years, to try to reset at a later year. It'll hurt him, just like Correa, and he had to have a monster season to and I don't know that he had to do a lot to put the Twins in a position where, hey, you need to sign me. He became their unquestioned leader, but maybe that's what Bregman ends up doing. We hear about Bregman going to, I don't know, the Pirates, and you're like, what? And it's not the Pirates. I'm just using them as a, and you're like, why? And it's because they offered him 2 years and they offered him $64 million, and nobody got to 30, and they offered him 32, and he's got an opt-out. And then the following year, they go, okay, we'll give you 6 years. I don't know, 180 million, something like that. So he'll make it in the aggregate, but he won't make it right away.
All right. There is Tom's hot take that the Astros will have given him the largest offer that he will receive all year. Interesting. Let us know what you guys think about it in the YouTube comments. Right? Wrong? Indifferent? What do you guys want to see? Where do you want to see Breggy end up? Because it sure as hell ain't going to be the Astros.
The Colorado Rockies.
And just end up in purgatory like Chris Bryant.
He lives in Arizona. It's a little puddle jumper back to the crib. Give me Colorado for $64 million. There it is. That's the team.
I don't think that's the team.
It's not.
They have Ryan McMahon over there.
He's going to play second base.
They didn't want to.
Doesn't matter. It's not. Doesn't matter. It's not AlexBregman.
You're right.
And it'll be
him gonna sign. Oh my god, my brain just went squirrel. Anyways, tell us in the comments, guys.
Hassan's going to be an Astro. That's where he's going to be. Suzy's going to own that. Suzy will own that jersey immediately.
So fast. Did you see that? I don't even know what college he plays for, but it's some Chinese guy that plays for a college, and they have his name in Chinese characters on the back of his jersey.
You love that, huh?
Instead of English or whatever it would be in the English translation, it's the Chinese characters, and I absolutely love that. And I would immediately, if Ha-Seong Kim got signed to the Astros, I would park myself in front of Daikin Park and sleep until they opened up to get one of those jerseys if that happened. In the Korean letters, in the Hangul, 1,000%. 1,000%. I would do that. It's not going to happen because apparently we're not even talking to any sort of Japanese, Korean players ever. Why are we not in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes? That makes me so mad. I need someone to tell us why we're not even being considered in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes when the White Sox were.
And so were the Rangers. And I truly wonder if the Astros see their rotation and go, well, what are we going to do with another pitcher?
Fucking awesome because Framber is leaving because you're not going to sign Framber.
Now, if they turned around, if they brought him in and then got him and they turned around and traded Framber, it makes sense.
All I'm saying is we had 43-11 pitchers go down last season. And in the off season last year, we were saying, what are we going to do with all these pitchers? Haha, joke's on us.
But the real reason they didn't even entertain Roki, in my opinion, is when it's time to pay Roki Sasaki, and there will be a time, he will command another ridiculous contract that they will not extend. He will be, 25, 26?
Why can't we defer money? Jim Crane, you deferred Zach Greinke's money. You're still paying Zach Greinke. I don't understand why we can't defer money.
Yeah, but I think they deferred it. They brought that in and deferred it. And they didn't sign somebody with deferred money. Does that make sense?
No, I'm pretty sure they did.
Greinke was a trade. Greinke was a trade. He wasn't a free agent. So his contract they got. They didn't sign him. They just deferred it after the fact.
Wait, when did we get Greinke?
They traded for him 2017, 2018. I don't know. I just know he started against the Yankees, dealt, and then the Astros traded for him. And I was like, let's fucking go.
Zach, did you know that Zach Greinke?
You're going to give me a bunch of before baseball Suzy stuff?
I am not. Maybe. I'm very sad, though, that I was not around for Zach Greinke.
You would have loved it.
Actual,
it was a treat.
Real Zach Greinke time. Good God.
He was disgusting when he was like a hard thrower.
Wow. Zach Greinke. What the fuck kind of... Wow.
Guy was a unicorn.
2013 to 2018, Zach Greinke signed a 6-year, $147 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Did you just hate your life when you were a Dodger, Zach Greinke? Why does it not have the Astros on here at all for his spot track? It literally says 2016 to 2021.
Because they inherited that contract.
I understand that, but then at no point in time does it say that he played for the Astros on his spot track.
Because I think it's just talking about it's just saying where the contract came from.
Oh, okay. Let's see. 2019 is when we got him.
Yeah.
Wow. Zach Greinke has made a lot of money in his career. Good God.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why he acts the way he does. And I've got fuck you money. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, but I think he was that way with even when he didn't have fuck you money, though. I think that's just him.
Might be.
Zach Greinke was a brewer? Oh my. I did not know Zach Greinke was a brewer. Interesting. Okay. So 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Yeah, we're still paying Zach Greinke, and we will be paying Zach Greinke until 2026.
Mm-hmm.
$12.5 million. What is the breakdown?
Of what? I got it up.
How much are the Diamondbacks still paying him too, though? Or no?
No, just us. The Royals were paying him up until last year.
That's awesome.
He will be 42, making $12.5 million to sit on the couch and watch baseball.
I don't think he's watching baseball, though.
Or whatever he watches.
I think he's watching golf.
I would. Earnings by team. He played for the Royals for 10 years, and they paid him $35 million. He played for the Brewers for 2 years, making $27 million. He played for the Dodgers for 3 years, making $64 million. He played for the Diamondbacks for 6 years, making $93.6 million. He played for the Astros for 6 years, making $56.6 million. Man's worth more than some countries.
Listen, if the Dodgers can defer $1 billion with a B, we can defer some fucking money.
If they want to, they can. I saw this thing today that I posted on Twitter talking about how much of the revenue was actually spent on payroll, and we weren't even the highest. We weren't even close to the highest spending based on payroll. The money's there. I think on average, most teams spend 48.8% of the revenue on payroll. So they're making money.
Chip Crane, I beg of you, please. Go get us a decent outfielder. Let Dana Brown go get us a decent outfielder, please. That's all I want. That's all I want for Christmas is a decent outfielder.
Now, I will say this. The Astros would be set up in a great position come trade deadline to go get an outfielder. And I think that is partially what they could be looking at.
Or are we trading at the deadline?
Doesn't matter. You can definitely trade prospects, trade.
So then why wouldn't we do it now?
Could.
If we're trading for an outfielder, then why would we be trading Framber away?
But the difference is like teams are going to be out of it, are going to be more likely to let go of players that weren't available now at the deadline. Does that make sense? Guys that are coming up on free agency or whatever, like rental type players. Yes, they could absolutely go get guys now that are on the street or try to entice teams to let go of players that have some control. However, every team's going, what are you talking about? We're going to make a run at this thing. We need that guy. It's only when they're out of contention that they're like, okay, we'll part with whoever. There's always names that are available at the free agent market and at that point in July that were not available in the offseason.
Listen, teams, I have got a great center fielder for you. He has got a glove on him. Oh boy, let me tell you what. I will show you some of Jake Meyer's highlight catches. They are impressive. They are impressive. We're not going to talk about his bat, but let me sell you on his defense. Please and thank you. Anyhow. Okay, that is that. Tom, what would you like to tell the people? If you could ask Santa for one thing, what would you ask Santa for?
If I could ask Santa for one thing for my Astros, health.
No, the D-backs.
No, I don't want. I mean, I'm just clarifying. You can tell me to ask for D-back stuff, and I still won't do it. I just want them to be healthy. I think that the outfield is gross, and I could ask for all the outfielders.
Not and gross in an actual bad way, people. Not gross like when we say like pitchers are gross. That means a good way. No, the outfield is actually makes me want to vomit. That's what Tom means.
Yeah, I think Chaz is going to be better. I think if Jake is average, not good, just average, I think this team will be great, and we won't care about their struggles. We'll complain about them because that's what we do, but they'll be atop the division, and they'll be looking to add at the trade deadline, and then we'll be begging for everyone's outfielder then.
I feel like great is a stretch, Tom.
For Chaz?
For the team.
Why?
How many games do you think this team is going to win next year?
How many games? If I had to put a number on it right now, I would say 95. what I would say.
Wow.
I just think that the division is not good. I think that the American League got worse. I think the National League got better. A lot of the talent went from American to National League. You know, there are teams that just don't scare you.
Interesting.
Who scares you in the American League?
I don't know. Boston Red Sox are making a run for it.
I'm not scared of them.
It's definitely not the Orioles. We got to talk. What are we doing? Mike Elias. What the fuck?
I'm just saying. I look around the American League and go, what team am I going, oof, that team's going to win 100 ball games? None of them.
Listen, if the Rangers can figure out their rotation, if Nathan Eovaldi and whatever mishmash of 60 games Jacob deGrom can give you and whatever other starters you got, I don't know, that lineup may bop.
I will never, and this is my bias, this is my Astro bias, this is fuck the Rangers. I will never consider them for anything. Not the division, not for the American League, none of that. They're going to finish dead last. The Sacramento Athletics are going to be better than the Texas Rangers. That's where I'm at.
Okay, but for real though, who's going to have a better record? The A's or the Angels?
Don't know.
You don't give a fuck. That's fine. Okay.
Oh, you want a serious? Hold on, let me take my Astros hat off. Okay. I think the Angels could be sneaky good. They could.
Okay.
They could.
Okay.
They went and got Soler. Trout's supposed to be healthy. Obviously, they went and got this pitcher. Maybe you've heard of him. Yusei Kikuchi. He pitched really good the second half of the season last year. They could be good. I don't know. Every year, the Angels trot out a lineup. They go, man, maybe the Angels. And then every year, the wheels fall off. So for the Angels, I'm gonna have to see it. You're gonna have to show it to me. You're gonna have to prove me wrong.
No, I don't. I think the A's are going to be better than the Angels this season. I want the Angels to be good because, like you said, they made the moves. They got Travis d'Arnaud back there too. I want the young kids to come up and do well. Logan Hoppy, take the next step, sir. I just don't know if it's going to happen because it's the Angels. Sorry.
I think they're all going to be a little bit better than they were last year. Obviously, Sacramento. I'm going to call them Sacramento because you can't call them Oakland.
I'm not going to call them Sacramento. No, that hurts my heart. They're the A's. Come on now.
They've made
some respect on our daddy's name, okay? Come on.
They made some moves too. I just expect the Astros to be able to handle that. I expect the Astros to be good. Their rotation looks good. I really feel like when we talked about the Astros rotation with Fromber and Ronell and Hunter and Spencer and now Hayden, who I'm really rooting for this kid to be just electric. I need him in HEB commercials. That's what I want. And he only gets there if he's good. I
need Spence in some HEB commercials.
Give me that too.
Spence Hunter.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's a really good young rotation. We've already talked at length about what the bullpen is. I think the bullpen's going to be good, not great. I don't know if they can be great, although I've heard Josh Hader's figured out some things, which is good. And if he cleans up some stuff, they win 2 or 3 more games they did last year. So 95 is the watermark for me. I think I like the additions that Dana made on the corners. Christian Walker can absolutely bop. Isaac Paredes can absolutely bop.
And JeremyPeña has a girlfriend now, so we'll take it.
There you go.
All right. Thought exercise. Anybody that is interested in pitchers, I need you guys, I'm going to do it as well, but I need you guys to do a deep dive and do a comparison of Jared Jones and Spencer Arrighetti. I need to see how similar/dissimilar these two guys are.
Why are the Pirates trying to trade him?
I don't know what the Pirates are doing. The Pirates are trying to be the NL version of the Seattle Mariners, and it hurts my heart so much. I don't know. Because they won't spend money, and they need hitters. So apparently they're like, hey, we have a pitching surplus, kind of. But anyways, people that are interested in pitchers, that know pitching better than I, obviously, because I suck at pitching, do a deep dive. Jared Jones, Spencer Arrighetti. Similar, dissimilar. I feel like body types and not even really delivery, but just body types in and of itself are similar. And I want to know if it stops there or because in my head, I feel like they're very much similar, but maybe not. I'm going to do a deep dive on this. So if you guys feel so inclined, if you are bored one day and you're like, you know what? That Suzy chick gave me this challenge. Let's see what we can do. I would love to hear it. Put it in the YouTube comments. Please and thank you. Tom, if the peoples want to come fight with you about the Astros winning 95 games next season, where can they do so at?
You can always do it on this show, on the YouTube comments. I think Suzy would prefer it so she could see it. She will also see it on Twitter at Third Coast Tom. She might see it on Instagram. I don't have any cool Instagram stories or love interests that I'm parading around. So there's no juicy gossip to be found on my Instagram. But I do post
There's
sports
still
stuff.
time, Tom. There's still time. You can find something. Someone can slide into your DMs, sir. That's all I'm saying.
They could. They could. At TC Tom1 on Instagram. That's where you'll find me. And we can talk baseball, sports all the time.
Perfect. So if you guys have not already liked this episode, subscribed to the YouTube, please do that. Like I said on the last episode of Bourbon and Baseball, the All the Balls edition, if your goals are not scary, then they are not big enough. So the goal for 2025 is to get this YouTube channel to 500 subscribers. I almost said subscriptions, and that felt very much like an OnlyFans, and that is not something that we have. So 500 subscribers, please and thank you. That seriously would break my brain, because why? But also, why not? Because we're fucking hysterical and we know ball. Duh. Please tell all of your friends, family, men, women, children. Not children. Don't let the kids listen to this. It's not child appropriate. It's not. They're going to ask you why she keeps laughing about the balls, and then you're going to have to do a weird conversation, and then you're going to be mad at me, and I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want you as an adult to listen and be like, yes, we like this show. Do that, please and thank you. If you are on the audio only side, the podcast side, Apple, Spotify, whatever other app you use to listen to that, please leave all of the nice ratings. I think they're all like 5 stars. I think that's the highest you can give. But if there's something else that gives 10 stars, do that. But just the highest stars, and do some nice words in a review. That would mean the world to me. And maybe, I don't know, warm my cold black dead heart. We can try. With that, we are going to wrap up. We're going to say Happy New Year and hope all of your New Year's wishes come true. That's not. What is New Year's? Is it
Resolutions?
Wishes? Resolutions? Thank you. New Year's resolutions. See, I don't ever set resolutions because I'm already fucking awesome, so no need to get any better there. We're going to work on some humbleness. That's what we're going to work on for Suzy. Anyhow, I hope all of your resolutions, that you are resolute in all of those, and that you keep on keeping on doing all the things. Advertise and let the people know, hey, you should listen to this podcast. With that, we are going to say good night and goodbye and yay, baseball, woo, and record.